years, kind of quietly, maybe a little bit overshadowed. What's he meant to your program the last few years?
He's been a solid, steady performer. He's done a good job. And it was good to get him back in the lineup last week. I think probably the best thing I can say about him is he's been a 3-year starter on, at least in 2 years. We had good defenses. We had defenses that gave up very respectable points allowed both last year's, and currently we're pretty good there too. But we still got 3 games to go, so the jury's still out on this one. But I think he's been a big part of it. You don't do that without good linebacker playing. He's done a nice job.
Is he having maybe his best year? It seems like he's making plays. You see his hand deflecting passes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like we've talked about Stanzi, and it's the same thing. You hope a guy accumulates knowledge and wisdom as he plays, and I think Jeremiah's certainly done that.
Coach, how has the way that concussions have been treated changed since you got into coaching 30 years ago?
Well, yeah, I mean, a long time ago it was a lot different. Nobody knew they were concussions. They just thought they got dinged or whatever, and they gave you those little ammonia capsules, and you kept playing. And I don't remember it being dramatically different when I was here in the 80s. We didn't have any protocol, that's for sure. At least that I remember when I was an assistant, so I probably wasn't too aware anyway. But I don't remember many guys having them, and it's kind of ironic because you expect the technology and the gear to be better now. As far as the protective devices, and we have more than ever. But I think part of that's increased knowledge and awareness certainly. And I don't know that the protocol that we're following now is a lot different than it was 12 years ago. Maybe we were ahead of the norm or whatever. I don't know, but we've been pretty conservative and pretty cautious with people, and for a good reason. It's something you really want to treat with. But it is a new field. It's a new field. There are very few places right now in the country that are really specializing in that, and then the data that's been collected, to me, it's still in that. I'm not a doctor. I've said that before, but it's in the initial stages right now. So, I think 4 or 5 years from now, we'll know a lot more about what's going on.
It seems like the NFL is maybe a step away from game ejection on head-to-head.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Could that ever happen in college?
I mean, we had somewhere 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we had 2 players suspended within a week, 2 different conferences. So it all trickles down. I just hope we don't knee-jerk react on some of this stuff. Because, football is a collision sport. You can't change that. I think all of us are in favor of protecting defenseless players. I think all of us are in favor of, players not using the helmet as a weapon, or, and that's why I think everybody tries to teach, good technique and all that. But the flip side of this stuff is, and I'm just watching what's going on above us a little bit, those guys move at a pretty fast rate. Those are good athletes out there in the field, and sometimes you can't avoid getting in a situation. So, to eject a player or suspend them, I think it's just, it's really a slippery slope. I think it's really, you just got to use some common sense.
Does some of this come from the emphasis maybe over the years of trying to deliver the big hit, maybe than just wrap a guy up?
I don't know. I mean, Dick Buck has tried to knock guys out too. I mean, it's football. It's always been that way, and so I think we just all know more about concussions now. And I mean, nobody wants to see anybody get a concussion, that's for sure. But it's part of the game. It always will be. The injuries are too, and coaches getting fired. I mean, that stuff all comes with the territory. It's not pleasant, but it's part. If you're involved in the derby, it's part of the. It's just part of the territory.